Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Centre Court at Homebush Bay in Sydney for C7's continuing coverage of the 2002 Adidas International. And what a night we've got in front of us. It is going to be magnificent entertainment. Karen Pratt joins me in commentary. The crowd's getting excited behind us, Karen, and I think the players are going to be excited, especially by the conditions, because they've had a bit of everything so far today.
They have. First of all, a torrential downpour this morning that delayed play by 2 hours, and then when that sun came out, the humidity really soared, making it particularly difficult out on court. I think a lot of the players feeling it, but now it's a lot cooler, just a bit of a breeze about.
I reckon I know why the crowd's yelling behind us, because in just a few minutes' time they're going to see two of the biggest names in the game out here on Centre Court.
You think they're getting excited? I do too, because two of the glamour girls, Martina Hingis and Kournikova, teaming up again. They won the Australian Open in 1999, then the season-ending championships in 2000. They've won 10 titles together. Great pair.
And that's going to be followed by some more great action. The two Andys, Andrew Illey versus Andy Roddick, and they're talking about Roddick being the next best thing, or the next big thing in the game.
Well, when you see him play, you'll realise why, because he really is a dynamic player. Big serve, big forehand, very exciting to watch. Wears his heart on his sleeve, as does his opponent, Andrew Illey. Always exciting. Yes,
we saw him warming up here on Centre Court some time ago, and he is going to throw everything into tonight's match. Crowd is rolling in. It's going to be a great atmosphere here tonight. There's a great atmosphere outside the stadium. Let's go out and check it out as we say good evening to Shelley Craft. And Shell, it's great to be back with you here in Sydney.
Thanks very much, Peter. It is great to be back at the Adidas International, and I'm certainly looking forward to a huge night on Centre Court tonight, as are the fans that are starting to roll in. The weather seems to be perfect. It is a gorgeous night, and it is going to be great on Centre Court with a fabulous lineup. We've got Hingis, Kournikova, Illey, and of course the new guy, A-Rod, Andy Roddick from the States. Someone who's looking very forward to seeing the games tonight is my mate Matt. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Now, you've been here all day. You've seen some great tennis.
Yeah.
And you're looking forward to tonight's matches?
Sure am.
Who are you looking forward to seeing most?
Andrew Illey and Andy Roddick.
It's going to be a tough game.
Sure is.
Who's going to take it out?
I reckon Andrew Illey.
And what happens when Illey wins?
Rips his shirt.
Show us how it's done. No. You better keep your shirt on. Your mum wouldn't be too happy about you doing that on telly.
No.
Well, enjoy the matches tonight. Have a great time.
Yep.
Okay. And Peter, as I said, looking forward to the action on Centre Court when the stars come out to play.
And there are a couple of the stars. Thanks very much to Shelley Craft outside soaking up the atmosphere, and Shell will be joining us in the stadium. Speaking of stars coming out to play, two of the most recognisable faces in the game, Kournikova on the left, Martina Hingis on the right. And their opponents, the taller of the two ladies is Janet Lee of Taipei at 5 feet 9 inches tall, and Wynne Prakusya at 5 feet 3 inches tall from Indonesia. So Karen Pratt, really looking forward to this match, and the one after that, for that matter. I think we're in for a great night of tennis.
Oh, it's good to see Hingis and Kournikova back playing together again. They won last year in Moscow, their 10th title together, and as we said in the opening, they had a bit of a hiatus there, didn't play after having a bit of a spat. Didn't get along so well there for a while, but back together now, really getting along well. It's the title that they won together last year in Moscow, and that would have been a good confidence booster for Kournikova too, who had most of the year out with injury, left foot stress fracture, surgery in April. So for Kournikova, important to be back there on court. The doubles court gives you a lot of confidence, particularly when you're playing with someone like Hingis, who you've had so much success with. Anna, of course, was a winner here last year with Barbara Schett, and we had a great doubles event here last year with Martina Hingis playing with Monica Seles.
And Kournikova only won the one doubles title last year, but in total, as Karen mentioned, they've been a successful combination, and they have won 10 titles together. What about the ladies at the other end? 25 years of age, Janet Lee from Taipei, and 20 years old, Wynne Prakusya of Indonesia.
Looking there at Prakusya, and she's only 5 foot 3, 160 centimetres, won her only doubles title with Lee last year in Stanford, so they have played a lot together. They reached 3 other finals. They were in Bali, the Japan Open, and Oklahoma City. They also reached a semi-final in Canberra last year. So Lee and Prakusya, really quite a seasoned pair. They know each other's games very well, and of course that's half the battle on the doubles court, having a good understanding. Here is Janet Lee, one title that they won together last year. She also got to a semi-final with Tulyaganova in Antwerp, and and with Rachel McQuillan in Tokyo. Both of those women too got to quarterfinals in singles in Tashkent.
When they made the doubles final in Oklahoma City, one of the 3 finals that they made together last year, the others being Bali and the Japan Open, they actually beat the combination of Lisa Raymond and Renee Stubbs. So it's a pretty handy scalp to have under your belt. And to be able to do that, doesn't matter where in the world or at what stage, Karen, they have to be a pretty good doubles combination.
Oh, undoubtedly, they're a good team. Kournikova and Hingis will be well aware of how good a team they are. They won't be taking this one lightly.
There's Martina with her new Adidas outfit, and Kournikova also in her own designed Adidas outfit at the other end of the court, and sitting in the chair tonight and overseeing the match. Well, when he needs to, we'll turn around, we'll find out exactly who it is, because normally they are quick to tell us, but we'll definitely find out who the chair is. And it's funny when they have the caps on, and you often see this with the tennis players when they're walking around, you sort of see them without the caps and you recognise them quite easily, and all of a sudden they put a cap on, you think, who's that?
Yeah.
As Karen said, I've had a bit of everything so far today in Sydney. Turned up here this morning after a lot of rain overnight, and the rain was belting down when we began our telecast on C7 Sport at 11 o'clock this morning. And it rained for some considerable time. Then they were able to dry the court with the play getting underway round about 1, just after. And before we knew it, it was 37 degrees and it was hot and humid.
Yeah, quite an amazing day. People talk about 4 seasons in one day in Melbourne. Well, we got it today in Sydney. Martina Hingis has been known as one of the world's top doubles players for quite some time now. Her first Grand Slam title way back in 1996, a doubles title with Elena Sukova. Of course, has gone on to win 35 doubles titles, 8 of those Grand Slam doubles titles. And
add that to the 38 singles titles, and you come up with career earnings. She may just be able to live on this, $16,845,441.
Not bad for a 21-year-old.
Yeah, well, there's the 20-year-old Anna Kournikova, who we just saw. She's earned, by comparison, just a mere $2.998 million. She earned $305,000 of that, and these are US dollars, last year. So $305,000 on the court, and probably about $25 million off it.
At least that. Endorsements making up the majority of Kournikova's income.
Now, earlier today, we were watching the match between Elena Dementieva and Conchita Martinez out on Show Court 1, and because of the delay earlier in the day, that match ran overtime, and we said that we would bring the result to you, and I can tell you the result was a victory in 3 sets for the Spaniard, Conchita Martinez, 6-4, 3-6, 6-1.
1 minute.
6-4, 3-6, 6-1 to Martinez over Dementieva.
That's a good win for Conchita Martinez. Her rankings dropped to the mid-30s, and Dementieva around 15. So very good win for the Spaniard, who a lot of people write off regularly, but she keeps on bouncing back.
I think I probably may have underestimated Anna's off-court earnings last year.
Yes, $50 million in endorsements. Adidas reportedly a $90 million deal over 6 years. That is if she achieves incentive targets. But part of those targets might be winning a singles title. It still eludes her. It's what a lot of people talk about, and it's
This match
a bit of a monkey on her back, really, not having a singles title. She played in New Zealand last week and reached the semi-finals, losing to Anna Smashnova.
That surely is one of the best tennis names of all time, isn't it?
It's not bad, is it?
Time.
A lot of people say smash 'em over.
And just reminding you, if you are just joining us, that we have a terrific men's singles match coming up after this. Andrew Early and Andy Roddick. He is one of the most talked about sports people in the United States, Andy Roddick. And we were standing courtside a little bit earlier when Andrew Early was warming up, Karen, and we had to move out of the way because
I feared for my life.
He was giving them a fair old thump.
He was really hitting the ball hard. And I think that was just, it's a taste of what we'll be seeing in the match later. I also saw him trying to hit a few with the racket handle, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, anything goes with Andrew Illy.
Well, he hit one from one end of the court with the racket handle out of the court and about 6 or 7 rows back, and seemed quite pleased with it. And I can tell you one thing too, he was practicing his grunting out there. So we've got a lot to look forward to, and especially in this match.
You say Kournikova has designed her outfit. It's a trend with a number of the top players having input into the design of what they're going to wear, their new season outfit. The Williams sisters both have a lot of input.
First set, Martina Hingis to serve.
Thank you, partner. Thanks for the save.
15 love.
What a start. This is a good return. Kournikova misses it, but Hingis with perfect backup. Well, that point showcasing the touch of Hingis.
30 love.
First, this lovely drop angle volley, but it's covered well by Lee. Hingis just takes her time, lines that up, waits for Prakusya to make her move.
Well, it hasn't taken the girls long to get into the groove here.
30-15. 14-15. Game, Hingis Kournikova.
Nice, comfortable start from Martina.
First game.
And quite often, Karen, you'll see a few errors in the first game of a match, but we saw several winners there and several very clever winners.
Yeah, certainly taking no time at all to settle in out there. I think Hingis would be very, very happy with that opening service game. Really the start of her year. It's nice to come out playing like that.
Janet Lee serving from the far end. Lee's singles ranking at the end of 2001 was 115. She's been as high as 79. Her doubles ranking 34. Doesn't she do that so easily? She just makes it look so easy when it's a difficult shot to play it inside out.
It is, and this was a beautiful setup from Kournikova here. Look at the way she fades that backhand. Very low, dipping over the net there. It's a terrific exchange. Them keeping the ball very low. Lee very aggressive on those volleys.
Far off making the shot, but again, just great touch and great composure from Hingis. It's been a trademark of her game both in singles and doubles over the years, Karen. She doesn't snatch at the shot. She's a great tactician.
She always makes it look as if she has plenty of time to play the shots. Part of that is her great anticipation.
break point. And an early break to the favoured combination.
This is a great outing for Hingis. She hasn't played since October when she had to retire at Fulderstadt with an injured ankle. Had surgery October 14 for 3 torn ligaments and missed the remainder of the season. It's nearly 3 months.
Well, I can still afford a smile. Wynne leaping at that ball. But there's not much of her. Only 5'3" in the old. Whoop!
So they're Kournikova very, very quick at the net. Often remarked previous years watching Kournikova play doubles, such a confident player on the doubles court. I just wish you could translate that confidence onto the singles court. Beautiful.
Some of that confidence in her stroke. The point you were making, Karen, I remember one day we watched her out on Show Court 1 last year. As we watched this point in replay, we saw her in singles at the start of the day. She looked all at sea. She played in a doubles match with Barbara Shett later on. She looked completely in command.
Yes, we saw her lose her first round last year to Karina Marayu, I think it was. And yeah, she didn't play very well, didn't handle the conditions or play a very smart match, really, and then comes out in the doubles, plays excellently. They went on to win the title, of course.
To look at those two faces, to know that it's well and truly forgotten. I saw them out here yesterday and they were about to go out for a jog around the surrounds, and they just looked like two really good friends having a good time. Look at them, laughing and joking. And the scoreboard's going to make them smile at the moment too. Prakusya serving at love 3. And just waiting for one of the lines people to get onto the service line. By the way, our mystery man, not really a mystery, it's Mark Sleet in the chair.
It's not a booming serve, but exceptionally well placed.
What do you think of the outfit from the female point of view? I don't think you'll get too many blokes saying that it doesn't look terrific.
I think Anna could probably wear anything and look good, but oh, it's a smart outfit. Looks good. Martina with 2 sleeves this year instead of 1.
I was just going to say, last year she either lost one or found one.
Yes, it was an unusual outfit. I wonder how hot the long sleeves are, though. Obviously a special fabric for the heat.
Just in. Kournikova had a play on that ball.
She'd also be a little unhappy with herself for not doing more on that return. It's a very strong second serve. That's right. Prakusya's hitting zone.
Martina had a very comfortable service game in the first game of this match. Looked as though she'd gone straight into the groove. She plays quickly. Those lovely dead hands at the net.
30 love.
Hingis can do anything with that beautiful slice.
Fault.
From a metre behind the baseline, Lee hadn't done much wrong, and she smiles and knows that.
Well, Hingis just seems to have the ball so much in her control. Looking very comfortable out there, particularly after such a long break.
Communication breakdown.
15.
That was Hingis's ball.
Yes, it would have been a regulation forehand volley for Martina.
You can hear the breeze really whipping up in our effects microphones. And Karen will vouch for the fact that when we were down at courtside before, the wind just comes in gusts and whips around. And as is the case, Karen, in any stadium like this in a bowl effect, that it does tend to swirl, so you can't really put a consistent direction on it. And gee, that makes it hard for the players.
It does. You get that element of surprise every now and then, and I think a few of Wynne Prakusya's serves might have caught Kournikova in that previous service game. It just was moving around quite a bit on the serve that didn't have much pace on it. Moved away from Kournikova a bit. But look at these two, giggling. I've seen photos in the paper of them this week, giving each other water,
blowing
kisses, all this silly stuff. They really are having fun.
And I think that's important for Martina as well. Anna can be quite intense on the court, but Martina at times can be extremely intense and can let things get to her. And this is obviously a situation where she really enjoys the camaraderie that she's got with Kournikova, and is very happy to show the world that they're having a real good time out there.
And she's back playing doubles. Hingis chose not to play doubles for the slams last year after the Australian Open. Felt that she'd overdone it, put too much stress, too many demands on her body and her time.
Lee serving at 1-4 in the opening set.
Love 15.
Hingis felt that at the Australian Open last year, after beating the Williams sisters and losing to Capriati in the singles final, she'd played too much tennis. The doubles just was an added extra that really burdened her. Serve. It's not as if she has anything to prove on the doubles court. So it'll be interesting to see whether Kournikova and Hingis actually team up for the Australian.
First ace of the match to any of the players. And quite often you see it's followed by another one. First one down the middle, second one almost impossible to get a racket on. Came in at 163k, so that's pretty handy.
Hingis skimming the net with that one.
30 all.
Shots to hit when they're dropping below the level of the net. Lee having to really get down to that, try and hit it up.
Good Low dipping return from Kournikova.
30-40.
Break point here for Hingis and Kournikova to take a stranglehold on the first set. Wasn't a bad tactical move by Lee. Kournikova was feigning the cross, and Lee decided to test her out and see whether she was going to go with the forehand down the line. High formation.
Quick cross here from Prakusya. Just waited till Kournikova had committed to the shot.
A bit like we were saying with Venus the other day, if she's rusty, well, heaven help them when she warms up.
Exactly. Hingis just seems to be seeing the tennis ball like a football, basketball.
Look at her hair blowing around. There's a plastic bag blowing on the court. Nicely fetched. Another ball girl. .150 on the speed gun. Seemed a bit quicker than that to us and to Anna as well.
Advantage, Lee.
Lee really does have a lot of pace on her serve. Going in close to the Kournikova body.
She's crossed a couple of times in that game, and with great effect. And a saver break point in the 6th game.
Hingis Kournikova lead by 4 games to 2.
It's still the favoured pair with the advantage. You're watching the action live around Australia on C7 Sport from the Sydney International Tennis Centre at Homebush Bay. Terrific tennis at the net by Lee especially.
Love 15.
See Lee here just keeps moving forward. She really closes in on that next one.
It's got a great history, this tournament, especially as part of the Sanex WTA Tour. It's the 32nd year that Sydney finds itself on the women's calendar. And that makes it the oldest tournament on the Sanex WTA Tour.
You see here Kournikova really going for a shot on this next one. No holding back. Putting it right down around Lee's kneecaps.
Kournikova's first serve has been very good in this match so far. 89% of first serves into play. That's the best on the court.
Another first serve in there, but a good return from Prakusya.
Choose.
As soon as we spoke about Anna's first serve,
Advantage
she's
lead.
dropped a couple out. They want to be careful here because for much of this set they've just looked as though they could win it at will, and all of a sudden they might find themselves on level terms.
Yes, things can turn around so quickly. Lee particularly sharp.
And that's a big miss too.
New balls.
Just when they look comfortable, all of a sudden things get a little shaky on the score on the serve of Martina Kournikova.
Hingis, Kournikova
But
lead
they're
by
still in
4
front, 4 games to 3, but games on serve in the first set. They've got back that service break. They dropped their serve in the second game. Now in the 7th game, they get it back and we're on level terms, and all of a sudden we've got a set on our hands again, Karen Pratt.
It's a very high standard match. She said Hingis and Kournikova could do no wrong, but these two have really fought back, come up with some terrific returns, keeping the ball very low. We've seen a few errors now from Kournikova. But that changeover, Anna and Martina, not quite so giggly.
As we said, Wynne Prakusya only pint-sized at 5'3" or 160 centimetres. Her highest singles ranking has been 84. She finished last year with a singles ranking of 88, and she's hovering mid-30s in the doubles, around 35 as we watch this ball go wide in replay. Ooh, self-preservation.
30-15.
Janet Lee, it's just as well she ducked.
Game, Wynne Prakusya.
Pretty cheap game. Dropping just the 1 point.
4 games on.
And all of a sudden, Karen, you'd think they might fancy their chances of getting another break here, and they might have the set in a minute.
Hingis has been very strong on serve in the previous 2 service games. But the whole tempo has changed. Prakusya and Lee now the ones doing the pressuring, the pushing.
It was worth a try.
30.
He saw that Kournikova had gone, and it only fell centimetres out.
Kournikova leaving that one, I think, in the end, not making a play on it. Missed by much.
Now there is trademark Martina.
When in doubt, straight at the body.
And that drive volley that Venus Williams uses to great effect. Well, Martina was doing it a few years ago too.
Game, Hingis, Kournikova.
They hold to love. Might just right the ship a little bit. It wasn't sinking, but it was just listing a little.
Well, Hingis has been fairly solid. It's Kournikova who's really had the troubles with return and missing a few volleys, particularly those low volleys that she was picking up earlier in the match. Got the Lee serve to come. They've broken that once. The second game of the match, but then Lee really picked up the pace on her serve in her last service game. Put in a couple of aces.
Every year since 1988, the tournament here in Sydney has been a combined men's and women's event on the ATP Tour and the Sanex WTA Tour, which means we get to see the best of both worlds.
Time.
That's what you'll be able to see here on C7 Sport a little bit later on tonight. After these young ladies have gone through their paces, it'll be Andrew Illy of Australia versus the number 3 seed Andy Roddick of the United States of America. Looking forward to that, Karen?
The Andrew Andy Show.
And if you haven't heard much about Andy Roddick, you're going to in the years to come. Lee serving at 4-5, opening set.
15 love.
Might have just skidded off the line, that one.
Really needed to make that return just to lift her confidence again. Just a lot of forehand returns.
Of the pairing at the other end, Lee's serve has been probably the weaker of the two, even though she serves faster.
See there, Hingis moving forward after the return.
Oh.
Lucky break.
She apologises. Prakusya was there with the racket, and with these tightly strung nets, you watch this. Straight over the top.
They got themselves into trouble there. Kournikova, you'll see she makes a good move here, but then opts to continue across to that backhand court, leaving Hingis to cover that wide open court.
Prakusya just slipping at the net.
30-40.
Quick reflexes here from Hingis.
She was more ducking than slipping. So they are going to take a set after all.
6-4.
Match in progress. About 29 minutes. And as most people expected, it is Hingis and Kournikova, 6-4 in the opening set in the Adidas International. Of it, and boy, weren't we happy to see that. As much as we would have loved to have seen some tennis, I don't think anyone begrudged the fact that we had a lot of rain, and hopefully it's made a bit of difference around the state of New South Wales today. Then we had a scorching hot afternoon, about 37 degrees, and you can see that a lot of the people who are in tonight have come in the lighter clothing. Not much of it in certain circumstances, light material in others, and they are enjoying these conditions, and they're enjoying the opportunity of watching Janet Lee and Wynne Prakusya going up against two of the most recognisable players in the game, Martina Hingis and Anna Kournikova, and they've taken the first set 6-4 in 29 minutes. Andrew Illy and Andy Roddick coming up later on, live on C7 Sport.
15 love.
Hingis taking the opening serve of this set again. She served very strongly in the opening set.
Even Martina's not that quick.
15 all.
Haven't seen many lobs. Good element of surprise.
30-15.
Interested to hear the comments of Martina Hingis when she came to Australia, talking about being the hunter now rather than the hunted.
It is, because she did look that way too. Hunted and
14,
haunted
15.
at the US Open and Wimbledon. I don't think she was enjoying the way she was feeling mentally about the game. So she's arrived here with a fresh attitude. And look at that.
Hingis, Kournikova.
Looking so comfortable.